I'm Alex Schwartz from Owlchemy Labs, and I'm the CEO, co-founder, and janitor of the company. So we've been around as a company building games for Steam on PC and also on mobile for the past 5 years, and very recently we decided to go all in on VR. We launched Oculus on Steam. It was one of the first games on Steam that had VR support, and that kind of got us into the fray with VR, and now at GDC, at the announce of the Vive with HTC and Valve, we showed Job Simulator, our new IP, and we launched our kitchen demo at GDC, and everybody's been kind of going crazy over it. So Job Simulator is actually, in the future, in 2050, the robots have taken most or all of our jobs. And so the robots have actually built this job simulator so that the humans don't forget what it's like to job. So you go in and you're actually simulating the past, the heyday of when jobs were actually a thing. So we started with our kitchen demo where you're able to walk around in 3D space, in room scale, and pick up, toss, throw, stack, manipulate objects in the real world. So it's kind of like being in a Little Tikes playset. It's a cartoony world. The physics are very accurate and realistic, and so you can you're asked to make a soup. But the robots have kind of gotten it wrong. Their view on the history is not quite great. They've done a poor job researching how life was actually like. So when you make soup in the kitchen, it's actually just throwing a bunch of stuff uncooked into a pot, and then a can of soup pops out, and you've just made soup. So it's kind of like teaching you wrong how the jobs would actually play out. We're working on a way that you can go between jobs. Right now, we've announced that we're shipping 5 jobs at launch, and so it's kind of like this museum of jobs is what we're working on now. And so when you come into it, you can actually load up and boot up one of the jobs and go into it. So because you're in a simulation, we can kind of do this. You get teleported into this new job, and JobBot, your main character, who's kind of like walking you through the process of learning all these jobs, he gets into character and says, all right, you're going to be a gourmet chef, get to it. And then we're doing the convenience store clerk, and it's basically your Apu in the Quickie Mart, and you're dealing with all the ins and outs of running a little convenience store. It's actually kind of funny. We went down that path a bit. I think VR right now in the early days, you have to do a ton of experimentation, because anyone who really claims that they know what's going to be fun in VR before they implement and try it, I think they're kind of talking out of their ass, to be honest. You have to try things, you have to put it down, implement it, get a prototype, even if it's just uncolored boxes, and see if it's fun. And so we've gone down that path of doing things that are kind of outlandish. Not many people in this world have been an astronaut, and so the humor doesn't quite lend itself very well when it's something you've never done in real life. So we're trying to stick to these jobs that you see and interact with, either as a customer or the actual proprietor, or you go home and you cook. Everybody's done something in a kitchen, and when it goes so weirdly wrong, that's where it's funny. So definitely trying to do every man's jobs for our job selection. We are a launch title on the Vive, and so we're along for that whole ride, and when they launch, we will be launching with them.